So The Cabin in the Woods actually did not come out exactly 10 years ago, as I previously stated in my last entry on this playlist. But it, I wanted to review it this year. This was directed by Drew Goddard, one of the most underrated filmmakers out there right now, and it stars the likes of a very young Chris Hemsworth before he ever became Thor, as well as the great Kristen Connolly. They're part of a group of 5 college friends who arrive at a remote forest cabin for a little vacation. Little do they expect the horrors that await them, as one by one the youths fall victim to backwoods zombies. But there's another factor at play. See, there's 2 scientists played by Richard Jenkins, the father from Step Brothers, and Bradley Whitford, who would go on to be the father from Get Out. They're manipulating the ghoulish goings-on. That's right, this is all a reality TV show. But even as the body count rises, there is yet more at work than meets the eye. Essentially, think Evil Dead meets The Truman Show. And just based on that whole premise and that comparison I just made, The Cabin in the Woods seems like the most unconventional and unique movie on this year's playlist. But even though it's poking so much fun at the tropes and the absolutely cheesy nature of horror movies sometimes, The Cabin in the Woods absolutely knows what it is. Because not only is it effective at the satirical stuff, which I found freaking hilarious, the fact that it's still an effective scary movie in and of itself, that's a darn hard thing to do when you're also making fun of the genre. And I don't know how Drew Goddard didn't suddenly go into the conversation for people as one of the most inventive directors out here today. Because he honestly kind of reminds me a lot of Sam Raimi, just in the way that he establishes the scares and the way that he sets up a lot of the comedy. It is very Raimi-esque. That's especially true when you look back on The Cabin in the Woods. Like, there is no escaping the comparisons to Evil Dead. Like, you just can't get rid of that. You can't shake it if you watch this movie. And that may ultimately be what holds this movie back for a lot of people. But like I said, this movie does a phenomenal job of standing out in and of itself, while also being fully well aware of what genre they're in. And I just think all these technicals, this is a very brutal looking movie as well. Very, very bloody. But I think Drew Goddard does a wonderful job directing this movie. The framing and the cinematography and the score, everything is just pieced together so incredibly well. And the actors, oh my god, like there's so many talented people in this. Chris Hemsworth plays like the dumb jock of the group. He's fucking hilarious. But he still doesn't have that typical dumb jock character arc that you'd come to expect. Because when his girlfriend eventually is the first victim of the bunch, he actually grows a lot of heart. And you actually kind of want to see this guy make it out alive. And you can't really say that about a bunch of dumb jocks in scary movies. But the heart and soul of this movie is for sure Kristen Connolly. She is marvelous. The whole dramatic irony of the situation that this is a reality TV show, once it starts to sink in for all of these characters, especially as it goes with Connolly's, like, you just can't help but feel sympathy for them, and you can't help but laugh at the fact that they're kind of stuck in this really crummy situation. Like, how did they get in here? And even though you're not rooting for the bad guys, man, you're laughing at them. Bradley Whitford and Richard Jenkins together are both freaking awesome in this. I loved seeing them. Both of them are absolutely hilarious. I love that Richard Jenkins' character has this whole Deadpool betting area in the television studio in regards to what kind of monster is going to pop out of the woods and kill these blokes. It's so freaking great. And the design of the monsters as well, like any sort of combination of what you think a monster hiding in your closet would look like, it's in The Cabin in the Woods. And like I said, all of those beings are super effective in creating some really cool scares in this. That includes the big blackout finish of this movie, which, oh my god, will still send shivers up and down your spine. And I know I'm being super vague about it, but I feel like The Cabin in the Woods is a movie that's flown under a lot of people's radars, so I don't feel like I should spoil a ton in this review. I should just tell you, go check it out. Especially if you're into the horror genre and the classic horror cliches. The Cabin in the Woods handles those and makes fun of those in the most effective way they could. I'm going to give The Cabin in the Woods an A. Albeit a bit derivative of The Evil Dead, this is still a very entertaining flick, and one that Drew Goddard should absolutely still be proud of. Let me know what you thought of Cabin in the Woods down in the comment section below, and let me know also, what is your favorite classic horror movie cliche? There's a lot of them, because I love discussing all things in movies and entertainment with you guys on the regular, so do consider becoming a subscriber, tap that thumbs up as well. Y'all are invited to become a member of this so awesome community out here. If you want to keep up to date with all the latest in movies and entertainment, this channel is the place to be. And we're winding down on the Halloween special, guys. The last video of this year's playlist, this is one that I actually recorded a couple of weeks ago with my girlfriend Lindsay while I was out of town. We're going to be looking at The Nightmare Before Christmas. Now, that is an anniversary worth celebrating, my friends. 30 years ago, that movie was released to the general public, and it has gained quite the cult following since then. Disney didn't quite realize they hit lightning in a bottle with that flick, and I can't wait to dig deeper into it with y'all. Lots to look forward to, guys, especially going into the next month and winding down the year 2023. Y'all are the best. Thank you so much again for tuning in. And with all that being said, Back Talk, commence.